It's just a little bit after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. On the 3rd of September. And on August 30th, there was a beyond violent hate crime committed against me while I was in lawful execution of my duties, obligations, and responsibilities to take back my stolen property from trespassers and those who have purchased property obtained by crime. Everybody knew. Everybody who needed to know what was happening at 7 o'clock on August 30th knew what was happening. And instead of being helpful, they decided to, well, it's entrapment. I was boxed in. And then the violence began. At minimum, 6 vehicles, a dozen or more armed and dangerous persons, uttering threats, intimidating, causing me to fear for my life, actually. Demanding I perform so I can consent to assault with a deadly weapon, so I can consent to kidnapping, so I can consent to unlawful confinement, so I can consent to a malicious prosecution, so I can consent to the destruction of both my good conduct and my good character. Now, there's a pattern of behavior here going on, because when my son was kidnapped and unlawfully confined, I fought for his return, and this is how I was treated. And then I had a loser landlord lock me out of my business so we could steal over $50,000 worth of my property so someone else could use my stolen property. Now, I said something before the crime was completed to the Victoria Police Department, who refused both service and protection, which leaves the matter of justice up to me. So then when I started contacting the loser landlord and this foul female who's in possession of over $50,000 worth of my stolen property, I'm the one being criminally harassed, threatened, intimidated by members of the Victoria Police Department. And now I was granted land and premises. My spouse granted me land and premises. And it's been stolen by an act of fraud on the court. So all the personnel, all the persons acting as the Victoria and Saanich Police Department knew this was happening before it actually happened. And now this is what's going on. This has been going on for years. We have a pattern of behavior here. It's a provable pattern of hate and discrimination and malicious prosecution, refusal of service and protection to the actual victim of the crime. Now, when I was being unlawfully confined. I was being tortured. August 30th and August 31st. So Crown Counsel starts to speak. And right away I'm being threatened. Right away I'm being intimidated. Right away I'm in fear for my life. I'm being forced into a contract I can't be a part of. Well, because I'm not going to consent to a malicious prosecution. I'm not going to consent to wasting the court's time with the vexatious, frivolous, without merit, scandalous. No, two allegations. You need both criminal intent and criminal act. You have neither. You have to prove beyond reasonable doubt criminal mind and criminal act. You have neither. You don't have a case. So now what Crown Counsel has chosen to do, willingly and knowingly, is to be a malicious witness against myself and my family. This is a pattern of behavior. And I'm not going to consent to being regulated or governed or told what to do, when to do it, or how to do it. Now, you see, you completely fucking misunderstand who I am. I do not identify as a subject. Fuck no, I do not identify as a citizen. I have the right to self-determination. And no, I won't be liaring up. Both Duty Council and Crown Council, that afternoon, both committed indictable crime. They both violated my rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Both of you did. Both of you were intimidating me. Both of you were threatening me. Both of you made me feel in fear for my life. I have the right, an inalienable right to feel safe, and I don't. And now you've destroyed my last item of security. I have been independent since the summer of 1989. I have had wheels. I have had wheels since the summer of 1989. And now my little automobile has had 2 windows smashed in. The act of mischief, the act of vandalism by, well, like I said, over a dozen persons who are pretending to be Saanich Police Department, a criminal organization. So now what I need to do is I need to make a phone call here. I'm going to be calling the office of the Deputy Attorney General because I require an email address for the female that's acting as Crown Counsel, the female who perjured itself. I tell you what, that thing opened its mouth, it started to lie, and it didn't stop lying until the matter was finished. Now, I don't associate with liars. No, I have the right to freedom of association. You cannot get me to consent when I am under threat and under duress, and that's exactly what you did. Do you not even understand your own fucking rules? Do you not understand the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? Do you not understand that you've taken an oath to uphold the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? Do you not understand anything? Because I know the answer to that. The other thing is, no, a third party cannot fucking lay allegations against me. No, I don't think so. So it would have to be this, Benjamin Howe would have to move the prosecution forward, and it would have to be members of the Saanich Police Department who have made this false allegation of willfully resisting and obstructing. They would have to be the ones to move the matter forward because I don't consent to a legal proceeding. I don't consent to the jurisdiction of the dead. I don't identify as one of the dead. I don't identify as an artificial person, and I don't identify as a natural person either. I'm a woman. I am a foreigner. I am a sovereign. And I am the victim of continuous acts of fraud on the court, because what this is, this prosecution, this malicious prosecution, is another act of fraud on the court. You have absolutely no standing. You have no standing. And so now I'm supposed to be back at 850 Burdett Avenue at 9 o'clock in the morning on September the 5th. That's Thursday. It's now Tuesday. And I now have to find out, well, they don't give you their email address. If you think I'm going to let this continue, I will not be allowing you to continue with your hate crime against me. Now Crown Counsel is aiding and abetting trespassing on my property. Now Crown Counsel is aiding and abetting mortgage fraud. Now Crown Counsel is aiding and abetting 2 persons in Victoria here being in possession of property that's been obtained by a crime. And you are not above the law. You're not above the law. You're responsible in your personal capacity for the loss, harm, and injury that you cause. So I'm now going to call this office here and see what kind of services I'm going to be provided. Let's see how many times I get the runaround here.
AG reception AGX. After the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hi there. there. My name is Victoria Nevens. It's Nevens, and I'm going to provide for you a court file number. It's 1201 /18 8951-1. Now, this is an emergency. I require someone from this office to find out who is acting as Crown Counsel for this matter, because I require the email address of the person acting as Crown Counsel, and I have to have that email address immediately to prevent more violence against myself. These are allegations against myself, and I am fighting to, I'm going to be providing a lawful excuse as to why there will be non-compliance for this matter. And I need to do that before the end of workday today, because I'm supposed to be back down at 850 Burdett Avenue by 9 o'clock on Thursday, this Thursday, September the 5th. And so if this matter is going to be moving forward, I have very specific instructions for Crown Counsel as to my cultural rights. So I need to hear back. All calls are recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. If you cannot help me, you will be contacting another agency to provide me with that information, and you need to do that before the end of the day. Do you understand? This call has now lasted over 2 minutes, and I need to have a callback. My callback number is 250-661-0610, and you can call me Victoria. Okay, everybody get a load of that? Yeah, 'cause I'm done. You see, I played their sick little fucking games when they kidnapped my son, and then the social workers got the criminal organization, Victoria Police Department, involved, so they could criminally harass me. Yeah, I was alleged to have criminally harassed the social workers who had told me repeatedly my son would never be returned to me, not because I'm a bad mother, but because of their hatred for me, and because they were willfully, knowingly murdering both me and my son, and our relationship and our future. They're trafficking children here in Canada. Canada ranks number 3 for trafficking children under the guise of child protection. The Crown is making millions of dollars every year trafficking highly marketable children. The perverts. My son was never in danger in my care, and I never abused my son. So what we've also got here is we've got the benchers have a history of aiding and abetting crimes against my family. They have a history of it. So I'm not ever going to get a fair hearing, because there's a history of unfairness towards myself and my family. How else do you think my son has been trafficked? The benchers have assisted. Now, I was forced to plead guilty to charges I wasn't guilty of because I didn't really understand what was going on. Right? I made the mistake of hiring a liar when the false allegations were leveled against me. Oh, and by the way, those false allegations had me falsely arrested at my home. I was kidnapped, so it's assault with a deadly weapon, right? That's the crime of assault with deadly weapon. Then I'm removed from my home, the home I was just at. That's kidnapping. And then I'm unlawfully confined. That's also an indictable crime in Canada. And then the lies start in the spin, and I'm being humiliated by being, I'm on bail and all this other fucking bullshit. They're telling me where to go and where to be, and no, you're not going to regulate me, thanks. You're not going to waste my time. My time is precious. And you have all agreed to the terms and conditions of entering me into a contract against my conscience, my culture, and my will. And we have a fee schedule that you've all agreed to. There's a fee schedule that Crown Counsel and David Eby and Nikki Sharma and Justin Trudeau and Virani Arif have all agreed to by your silence. Silence is tacit agreement. So you've agreed to the terms and conditions of the fee schedule. And so I'll be issuing an invoice that has to be paid immediately to the persons, right? To the corporations, to the Crown corporations who have involved themselves in these hate crimes against me. Oh, you're all getting paid to lie about me. You're all getting paid to commit indictable crimes against myself and my family. I'm going to be paid. Right. There's no harder work in the world than surviving being assaulted with a deadly weapon, being kidnapped, being unlawfully confined, being tortured. They tried to poison me with McDonald's while I was being unlawfully confined. Nobody in their right fucking mind ingests McDonald's. McDonald's is not food, it's poison. They tried to poison me with McDonald's. Did I eat it? Well, you know the answer to that. I didn't, did I? The smell made me fucking gag. You could literally care less about my health, welfare, and my safety, Dean Duffy, Dean Murdoch, David Eby and Nikki Sharma, and Mike Farnworth. You're all involved in these hate crimes because you all know that that's stolen property. You're not listening. You're not fucking listening. You heathen hypocrites. You low-level, low-life criminals. Who the fuck do you think you are? Because I know who you are. Oh, and to the weasel at the fucking window who came out to thank the criminals transporting me from one area to another. Yeah, I smelt you before I saw you, bitch. I smelt you before I saw you, you fucking witch. You are seriously unfit for public service. You are a racist, you are a misogynist, you are a criminal. You are literally disgusting. You're a degenerate. Yeah, came out to thank the sheriffs, who then put me in fucking leg irons. This whole fucking system is backwards. These are allegations. These are fucking allegations. You don't take fucking photographs and fingerprints and fucking put a woman in leg irons and fucking hold her against her will until after your fucking false allegations have been proven. In a legitimate fucking system, it's not a legitimate system. They want me to agree to the jurisdiction of the dead. You don't have jurisdiction. I identify as one of the living. And because the legal system only has jurisdiction over the dead persons. I'm not an imbecile, I'm not an infant, I don't need to be governed. You don't tell me what to do, when to do it, or how to do it. Who the fuck do you think you are? Because I know who you are. This ain't not my first rodeo. This is not my first rodeo. And by the way, I'm not representing myself. I will be presenting. And if you think I'm going to be pleading, no, you will be respecting my cultural rights. This is a common law fucking jurisdiction. We will be following the only laws that have legitimacy in Canada. And those laws sit right on the witness box. Now, if you think I'm going to plead, you can fucking shove it. I am a woman who confesses, confirms, and testifies. I don't plead. I'm not playing your little fucking games. No, not playing your little fucking games. You are seriously fucking you're mentally deranged. Like you have mental illness. You're sick in the head. You're antisocial, antichrist, secular sociopaths. And you, Crown Counsel, the female acting as Crown Counsel, you proved it when you continued to lie. You've perjured yourself. How the fuck are you going to continue now? You've already fucking destroyed your own fucking claims by continuing to lie. I heard what you said. As fucking damaged as I was after being assaulted with a deadly weapon, kidnapped, unlawfully confined, poisoned, close to poisoned, if I'd ingested that fucking McDonald's, I still heard what you said. And now I understand why duty counsel is asking me those ridiculous questions. You claim that I have a history of criminal harassment? No, actually, I'm a woman fighting to have all my property returned. So the Crown does not sell my property to generate revenue for itself. How much did you sell my son for? How much are you getting every time you traffic a child? How much are you making? Because I need to know. I need all the documents pertaining to the forced adoption of my son, because I need to know who made money. Yeah, who got paid to traffic my son? And then you're trying to accuse me of criminally harassing a criminal who's in possession of over $50,000 worth of my stolen property? Yeah, Brett Cadell, that's you. You're a compulsive liar. You're guilty of criminal harassment and uttering threats and intimidation. You see how there's a history, but I'm the one who's constantly being fucking assaulted and attacked? Right? Backwards. That's the world of the dead. Well, that's the occult for you. In the occult, everything is backwards. In the occult, the truth is the lie and the lie is the truth in the occult. I'm dealing with a satanic cult, the Crown, calling itself the Crown. Yeah, what do you think? So I'm going to wait a little while here, and I'm going to, let's see if I get a call back.